The Cell Games arena has been destroyed. Goku has removed himself from the battle, and in his place, Gohan is forced to fight the genetic monster known as Cell. However, as the fight barely begins, Gohan decides he doesn't want to fight. He doesn't want to give in to the anger that will give him the power to kill Cell once and for all. Usually, this leads to Cell beating Gohan and the Z-Fighters until he gets that power to emerge. But instead, his instincts take him in a different direction. Perhaps it's Gohan's words that lack killing intent, or perhaps it's Piccolo and Goku's DNA causing him to feel like the boy needs to be protected. Whichever way you take it, Cell doesn't retaliate. He's just taken his first step in this journey called What If Cell Turned Good.
Well, Brat, it's been a pleasure watching you all squirm, but I don't see the fun in fighting you if you won't even fight me back.
Cell quickly flies over to Goku in a way that alerts everyone spectating, but instead of attacking, he simply says,
"Train yourself and the boy. One day soon, I'll come to find my perfect battle."
With that, Cell flies away. Mr. Satan, of course, takes credit for the monster leaving before he could fight him again, and just like Piccolo did after the 23rd World Martial Arts Tournament, Cell goes off to a wasteland where he could spend his time waiting for the day that Goku and Gohan will entertain him. Nobody is sure what to think now, but with no one able to kill Cell at the moment, and Cell refusing to ignite Gohan's hidden power through anger, this might actually be a blessing in disguise. Goku tells Gohan that they're going to have to train every day alongside his work towards becoming a scholar so they can be prepared for Cell's eventual return. Piccolo tries to remind Goku that this is different from when he lost to Goku in the 23rd World Martial Arts Tournament. Cell didn't lose. He chose to let the Z-Fighters live in order for them to be entertainment for him in the future. Piccolo goes even further and says this is more akin to things Goku has done, if anything. Goku has a moment of reflection on what he's done in the past, but quickly shakes it off as harping on the past will do him no good now. With nothing left to do, Goku teleports everyone back to Kami's palace where the Dragon Balls are ready to be used. Since there are no casualties among the main cast, they only need to revive those killed by Cell before the Cell Games. A simple task for the newly upgraded Shenron. Of course, this leaves the Z-Fighters with one final wish, but no one knows what to wish for. Krillin asks for the androids to be restored as well, but unfortunately that is beyond Shenron's power. Instead, Dende steps forward and wishes for the Room of Spirit and Time to be upgraded. This is something he's already capable of, as we saw in Dragon Ball Super, so Shenron should be able to do so as well. Shenron asks his new Kami to be more specific, and Dende tells the dragon to remove the time limit. The person limit for the Room of Spirit and Time is actually a supplies issue as stated in the Cell Saga and shown in the Buu Saga, so that doesn't need to be adjusted for with a wish. Shenron nods and grants the wish. The Dragon Balls scatter once again, and as they do, the Z-Fighters say their goodbyes. So a time of peace would come over the world, but to the Z-Fighters, there was the knowledge of Cell's looming presence. Just like Piccolo did after he lost to Goku in the Tenkaichi Budokai, Cell remains in hiding for the 7 years of peace that occur before the Buu Saga. Of course, this starts off with a new World Martial Arts Tournament, which Goku and Gohan find out about from Videl, who is even aware that Goku was the champion before her father. Goku thinks it sounds like fun, and Chi-Chi sees the prize money as a big opportunity for their family, so they agree to join. However, Videl isn't the only one with her eyes on the tournament. On a day where Videl doesn't come over for training, Cell makes his move. The monster in hiding sees the tournament as the perfect opportunity, a place where he can battle the strongest member of the Son family again. Whether that be Goku or Gohan, it doesn't matter. So once the tournament is officially announced, Cell flies over to Mount Paozu to inform Goku and Gohan that he'll be entering, and they better enter as well. When he arrives, Goku and Gohan run outside immediately. They tell Chi-Chi and Goten to stay inside as they confront Cell.
You both seem to be in top shape. Good. A tournament is approaching soon. I'm sure you're aware of it. I'll be entering and you'd better as well. I'd hate for this peace to come to an end.
Goku is completely nerve-struck at the sight of Cell. While he and Gohan have been training, Cell is definitely stronger as well. even if his training speed is slower due to the lack of sparring partners. Gohan speaks up while Goku is being cautious and tells Cell he can't enter the tournament because it would cause panic and people would recognize him. Cell's smirk quickly turns to a grimace.
You think you can order me around because you've grown a little? Fine, brat. I won't enter your pathetic tournament, but how about I blow up your home instead?
Cell begins to power up and Gohan turns Super Saiyan. The two approach each other, but Goku tells both of them to calm down and tells Cell to treat the tournament like a test instead of entering it himself. Cell is intrigued by the offer and tells Goku to explain himself. Goku says that the winner of the tournament can be the person who fights Cell. Now this is an idea that Cell can get behind. He is, after all, the undefeated champion of the Cell games. With that, Cell takes his leave and tells Goku and Gohan they better not try anything funny at the tournament. Peace can remain, so long as he continues to be entertained. Once Cell is gone, Goku tells Gohan to check on Goten and Chi-Chi. Gohan asks where his father is going, and Goku says he has to go warn the others. First, Goku teleports to Vegeta. During the 7 years of peace, Vegeta and Goku have had their time to battle each other, resolving all of Vegeta's own insecurities within the time skip so he could truly come to peace with his new life on Earth. Once Vegeta sees Goku, he asks why Cell and Gohan's ki flared up so suddenly. Is Cell finally going on the attack? But Goku shakes his head and tells Vegeta that Cell wants to fight the winner of the 25th Tenkaichi Budokai, so they should all enter just in case they're all needed to beat him. No longer weighed down by his pride and having something to protect in the form of his life that he's made on Earth, Vegeta agrees. From here, Goku gathers everyone else he can, and they all agree to enter the tournament. Of course, with Cell still alive and fully intact, there's no Android 18 in this scenario. So all the Z-Fighters train in preparation for the tournament. Goten and Trunks even train in order to enter the now publicly known about Junior Division. The training commences until the tournament finally rolls around and the Z-Fighters are reunited at the arena just as they have done several times before. Clearly, they're all on edge as they can sense Cell nearby, but they aren't sure exactly where he is at the moment. Goku considers teleporting to him, but he realizes it'll be better to simply let the tournament play out. Of course, the Junior Division is first. Goten and Trunks are the final matchup, but with Goku alive to train Goten, it's actually a win for the youngest member of the Son family. Despite their age gap, Trunks was only slightly stronger than Goten, so having Goku to train with would definitely overcome that gap. After that, we move on to the main tournament, the beginning of which doesn't change at all. Krillin scores an easy win, Piccolo doesn't fight against the Supreme Kai, Videl gets beaten to a pulp by Spopovich, and Gohan unleashes Super Saiyan 2, a form that he's learned in the time skip while training with his father against Kibito. While I believe wholeheartedly that Gohan is stronger in this version than the original, I don't think he's strong enough to break Supreme Kai's binding, as a good portion of his training time would have been spent on unlocking and mastering Super Saiyan 2. This allows Spopovich and Yamu to absorb energy from Gohan and begin their flight back to Babidi's ship. Cell senses Gohan's sudden drop in power and moves in closer, while remaining out of sight, of course, so he can investigate. He's shocked to find Gohan knocked out on the floor of the arena with a strange being he cannot sense holding him. Regardless of who wins, Cell will get his fight, so he couldn't care less. But he'll keep an eye on things to make sure they aren't playing him for a fool. Meanwhile, Supreme Kai recruits the Z-Fighters just as he did originally, with the only difference being Vegeta's lack of opposition. So everyone except Gohan and Kibito head out to pursue Spopovich and Yamu. Cell watches as the Z-Fighters leave and thinks about pursuing them, but decides against it, choosing to watch what happens to Gohan instead. He can always catch up to the others later. Unfortunately for Cell, Gohan and Kibito leave once Gohan is healed, seemingly in pursuit of the others. Instead of chasing after them, Cell decides to wait and see where they're headed. They're all in the tournament after all, so it is possible they'll return soon. Meanwhile, all the explanation of Babidi and Buu occurs on the flight as per usual, and Gohan and Kibito eventually catch up to the others. They all land on a hill a short distance from the ship itself and observe. That's when they notice the Demon King, Dabura. Shin and Kibito are instantly taken aback by this, and Goku even comments that Dabura seems like he's as strong as Cell.
As strong as me? Hardly.
Behind everyone appears Cell, who somehow managed to catch up to them without being sensed. Everyone is confused except for Goku, who realizes that Cell has learned how to use instant transmission. The genetic monster can now teleport.
I find it rather annoying that you think so little of my power, Son Goku.
Shin gets angry and tells Cell to get down quickly. They need to scope out the situation before they're noticed. But before Cell can even act, Dabura has noticed them and flies in, killing Kibito and turning Piccolo and Krillin to stone. Dabura is then called back by Babidi so they may collect the energy from the fighters. And so, the three Saiyans and Cell enter the ship with Shin in the hopes of stopping Babidi before he can revive Majin Buu. The ship plays out very similarly to the original story for the most part. Pui Pui is taken out by Vegeta, Yakon overeats and explodes when fighting Goku, and finally we're left with Dabura. Very little energy is required for Buu's revival due to Gohan being stronger in this version of events, so Dabura should be able to gather the remaining energy with ease. However, two things stand in his way this time. A Gohan who's been training, and Cell. Normally Gohan fights Dabura, however, Cell was annoyed by Goku's earlier comment comparing Dabura to himself, so he steps forward and tells them to watch. This will be their only sneak peek of the battle yet to come. Cell teleports over to Dabura and the two begin to battle, but Dabura seemingly can't land a single hit. Cell begins to chuckle and he's starting to enjoy this.
Let me tell you a secret. You're probably stronger than I was 7 years ago. However, I'm not the fighter I was 7 years ago.
With little effort required, Cell has defeated Dabura, and by extension, he's freed Krillin and Piccolo from their stone imprisonment. Babidi is on the ropes and realizes he has no one powerful enough to fight for him anymore. Something drastic will have to happen for him to get his way, but that's when he realizes there's evil in the hearts of Vegeta and Cell. This is his perfect opportunity. These two fighters have shown great potential, so controlling both of them should be enough to gain the energy he needs. Babidi starts with Vegeta. He begins the mind control spell and unlocks his hidden power as well. But the big issue for Babidi is that Vegeta doesn't want to be controlled in this version of the story. Vegeta doesn't want to fight Goku above all else, so with newfound power at his disposal as well, Vegeta easily breaks free from the Warlock's spell. This absolutely terrified Babidi. If they're strong enough to shrug off his mind control, then all he's done is make his enemy even more powerful, and he can't risk doing the same with Cell. After seeing Vegeta almost get taken over, Goku and Cell independently start scanning for Babidi's key signature, and when they lock onto it, they teleport to the Warlock, defeating him immediately and halting the resurrection of Majin Buu with only 5% more energy required for his revival. With Babidi gone, there's no one left alive who knows the spell to awaken Majin Buu, but they can't be sure of that since another clone may yet exist, so after the Dragon Balls are collected and used to undo the damage caused by Babidi's minions, Supreme Kai and Kibito take the shell back with them to the realm of the Kaioshin, thanking the Protectors of Earth for their help. Unfortunately, in the time spent battling Babidi, the tournament has concluded, with the winner being Mr. Satan once again. Despite no Android 18 to make him a deal, Mighty Mask was revealed to be Goten and Trunks, so they were disqualified, and Mr. Satan played off his loss to them by saying he knew they were children and that he didn't want to hurt them. Of course, Cell has no interest in fighting Mr. Satan, and this disruption would be cause for him to start wreaking havoc on the world. But Cell tells Goku to fight him right here and now instead. He realized something while they were fighting Babidi's minions. The fight he wants and the joy of that battle can only truly happen with someone who gets it. Gohan is too lost in his studies, and Vegeta's focus has shifted to his family. Son Goku is the only battle he's been waiting to have again, and that's what he wants today. No world will be destroyed, neither of them will die, just a fight for the sake of a fight, and since they're already in a wasteland, there's no better time to start than now. Vegeta scoffs and tells Gohan to leave them to it. They'll only be in the way if these two actually want to go all out. Gohan wishes his father luck, and he goes with Vegeta to get Piccolo, Krillin, and return to the arena where the others are. Goten and Trunks didn't show up because they were being chastised by their mothers for cheating. With no one left around them, the two begin their battle. Just as they had before, they start by getting a feel for each other's power until eventually they start to unleash it, slowly but surely, until eventually it's Cell versus a Super Saiyan 3 Goku. However, unlike Goku in the original story, this Super Saiyan 3 has been optimized for use in the living realm, so the stamina drain isn't as severe. Now, I know what you guys are hoping for, a new Cell form, but why would he get one? Unlike Frieza, Cell doesn't make transformations, and his only forms come from his absorptions of androids 17 and 18. The only thing even like a transformation is when he goes buff to increase his strength at the cost of speed, but that's something that most characters seem to be able to do. Cell even implies that a transformation like this is very basic. More complex forms like a Platinum Cell or whatever just has no basis in the series to make up at this time. That doesn't mean Cell won't get stronger, just not through the way that Saiyans or Frieza would. He is already perfect, of course. So Goku and Cell battle to their heart's content. Both are very close in power. A mutual understanding is formed between the two with this battle. While Cell wasn't fully trusted, Goku was beginning to see good emerge from the genetic amalgamation. After their battle, Cell prepares to leave, but Goku asks what Cell is going to do now that they've had their fight. Cell says he isn't sure, but destroying the Earth or causing fear isn't his goal right now. He just wants more fights like this one. Goku smiles, happy that they have nothing to worry about for the time being, so of course, peace would continue for the next 4 years until Beerus would show up. And honestly, not much changes until Beerus arrives on Earth. With Mr. Satan still being the savior of Earth from Cell, and also being the world martial arts champion, he actually still gives Goku some money since they will be family soon enough, allowing him to train on King Kai's planet instead of work. So Beerus still goes to King Kai's world, battles Goku, and then makes his way to Bulma's party. All of this culminates in Beerus not being that bad, actually. Without Boo to annoy Beerus, the Z-Fighters shouldn't have to worry about the God of Destruction until Goku shows up with his idea to wish for the Super Saiyan God to be brought to the party. Of course, they are instead given the ritual, since the Super Saiyan God doesn't even exist yet. This leads to the false ritual being performed and a power being created within Goku that's beyond anything anyone has ever sensed before. A power that even Cell can sense from across the globe. Without hesitation, Cell teleports over to Goku, only to find the group of Saiyans pouring their power into Goku, while a peculiar cat-like being watches on. Cell walks forward and asks what's happening, only to be informed of the God of Destruction and the Super Saiyan God ritual. Cell turns his attention to Beerus, supposedly the strongest being in the universe. No one should be beyond Cell's own abilities, however, and so he steps forward to the God of Destruction, unable to sense his God Ki and doubting his claims.
I'd like to see you prove you're the strongest in the universe. If claiming it was enough, then the arrogant prince would be stronger than us all.
Vegeta scoffs and Beerus approaches Cell, ready to take him on, but Goku grabs Cell's shoulder and shakes his head. That was all the confirmation he needed. If Goku didn't feel confident to beat Beerus with the power he just had, then Beerus is the real deal. Cell steps down and listens as they talk about why the ritual failed. It's eventually pointed out that the Saiyans were one short.
How convenient that I'm part Saiyan as well, then. Pooling power of the greatest fighters into one being. Seems you have learned something from me.
Cell agrees to help with their petty ritual, if only to see what it does and how strong the God of Destruction truly is. So, the Super Saiyan God is born and battles the God of Destruction in the uppermost atmosphere as he did originally. Cell and Vegeta continue to watch from the ship, and while Vegeta isn't showing any emotion, Cell's confidence is clearly being shattered right before his eyes. There isn't a world where he can see himself overcoming this gap. Transformations seem outside the realm of possibility, but maybe something with this God power could come his way. No, not could, it would have to become his if he doesn't want to fall behind massively. So the Battle of Gods concludes as it did originally, and it leaves Goku, Vegeta, and even Cell in the mindset that more power can be at their disposal in the near future. Limits set upon themselves by their own ignorance have been shattered, and now it's time for them to chase even greater power. Eventually, this leads to Vegeta leaving Earth to train with Whis, Goku following him after a few months, and even Cell teleporting to the God of Destruction's planet after realizing that Goku and Vegeta's ki have been missing for some time, then sensing them during training. For those who don't believe that this could happen, Super Saiyan 3 Goku was detectable from the realm of the Kaioshin, and God-Base Goku and Vegeta after training are at least close to that level, if not realistically surpassed it. So Cell joins in on their training. This puts a smile on Whis' face as Beerus not only wanted to keep an eye on Goku and Vegeta, but the oddity of Cell as well. If Cell was truly made up of the DNA of Frieza, Vegeta, Goku, and others, he may have some of their potential as well. Now, for the sake of this what if, I don't want to make the claim that Cell has Frieza's exact potential. The thing is, he's a mix of trained and untrained fighters, so his potential is probably weighed down by King Cold and Piccolo, leveled up by Frieza's, and averaged out by Goku and Vegeta's. Considering this Cell could arguably have worse potential than Goku and Vegeta due to being weighed down and his training potential not being established in the series, I'll be super generous and say he has more potential than average, but his lack of transformations keep him in check, as transformations can overcome a potential gap. It's arguable that Cell is always in a sort of Super Saiyan state due to his anime appearances, but that's debatable and not confirmed by any extra material, so we won't use that theory for this what if, despite me actually liking it and agreeing with it. So Cell, Vegeta, and Goku train with Whis in the pursuit of mastering God Ki, and perhaps even a power beyond. But for now, with the power of the gods in their sight, being away from Earth has major consequences. Without Goku and Vegeta on Earth, Frieza is revived with the Dragon Balls and will eventually invade the planet just as he did in the original story. Despite Gohan being stronger in this version of events, he doesn't have his ultimate form, which still holds him back from being able to handle Frieza on his own. So eventually, Goku, Vegeta, and Cell are released from Whis' staff and discover what's going on Earth. They quickly teleport back and face down Frieza. While trying to figure out who will face Frieza first, Cell steps forward and says he'll take him. Vegeta and Goku go to protest, but Cell tells them that he's never had the chance to fight Frieza, so it is technically his turn. Vegeta says then he'll go next, and since Goku was the last person to fight Frieza, aside from future Trunks of course, he will go last. Goku is upset, but they're not letting him argue, and so Cell faces down Frieza for the first time ever. As much as Goku and Vegeta are annoyed, Frieza is even more annoyed than the two combined. The self-proclaimed Emperor of the Universe came to Earth so he could get his revenge, not fight some random being he'd never heard of before. I'd prefer to avoid killing you until the two Saiyans behind you have been dealt with. Step aside, insect. Cell laughs at Frieza and says he can have them if he can actually prove he's worth their time. Frieza becomes annoyed and powers up into his final form. This should be more than enough for the likes of you. Cell laughs and excitedly powers up as well.
If we're not going all out right away, this should be more than enough to suffice.
The other Z-Fighters watch as Frieza and Cell are trading blows in a battle that surpasses anything they could dream of. But Vegeta and Goku can tell exactly what Cell can. They're both holding back. Cell and Frieza finally back off each other, with Cell clearly beating Frieza. The gap between the two is much wider than base Goku and Final Form Frieza in Resurrection F.
I don't know how long you've been revived for, Frieza, but this progress is remarkable. To think, you're still hiding power. Tell me, how long have you been training?
Well, it seems you've caught me having a bit of fun. Frieza begins to transform into his golden form. But if you must know, unlocking this power took me a mere 4 months. Cell and the others are shocked that it only took him months to do this.
To think, I have your DNA, but not that tremendous potential for growth. However, I do have other things that you don't.
Cell begins to power up, but his appearance doesn't change except for a subtle eye color change and a fiery aura. With a mixture of God Ki and Saiyan biology, Cell has achieved his own version of Super Saiyan God through his training with Whis. This isn't quite the same as the form Goku and Vegeta call Super Saiyan God, but it is similar, since the God Ki is also mixing with Piccolo's, King Cold's, and Frieza's DNA. Cell's God power is actually beyond the Super Saiyan God, and more similar of a power-up to Super Saiyan Blue. Perhaps even greater than that. Vegeta and Goku are bummed out, but everyone else watching is just confused. They don't know why they can't send Cell's ki until Gohan puts it all together. Cell learned the God power like Goku unlocked with the ritual. Goku smiles and tells Gohan he's right. Cell and Vegeta didn't need a ritual to reach the realm of the gods. They did it with their own hard work. Vegeta mutters that it's annoying the fight will be over before either of them get the chance. Frieza just isn't strong enough. For context, Vegeta and Goku were weaker than Golden Frieza when they were Super Saiyan Blue in the Resurrection F arc, but notably, a few things are different in this version of events. To not bog down in minute details of strength gains made over the 4-year time skip, the most notable part is that Cell was there to train with Goku and Vegeta on Beerus's planet. Don't forget, training as a group is, by Whis' own admission, an extremely effective form of training for those with Saiyan DNA. So Cell and Frieza battle it out, but just like before, it's one-sided. The Golden Emperor is beaten within an inch of his life until he's on the ground wishing for the torment and humiliation to end. That's when he plays his final gambit. Please spare me. I will repent for all I've done wrong if you just let me go. Cell looks down at Frieza with a smile. Didn't you hear me before, Frieza? You are a part of my being. Cell fires a death beam backwards, killing Sorbet instantly. You can't lie to me. Time to go back to hell, you worthless runt. And before Frieza could even hope to destroy the planet, Cell kills Frieza and ends the fight. Then he flies over to the rest of the Z fighters. Goku, Vegeta, he wouldn't have been much fun for you anyway. Feel free to fight me once we get back to Beerus's world to make up for it. The others are staring at Cell in utter disbelief. Not that he's so strong, but the fact that he's seemingly a good person now. Cell doesn't like it when fear isn't what people feel when they see him, so he asks Whis to take him back to train, and Whis agrees, but before Cell goes, "Hey brat!" Gohan looks at Cell confused. Protect your own world next time. With that, Cell leaves with Whis and Beerus, and Gohan has a renewed desire to train again. His family life can only continue if he's strong enough to protect it. Goku and Vegeta decide to stay on Earth for a little bit before returning to their training. While they're celebrating Frieza's defeat, Gohan asks Goku for a favor. He wants to see the Supreme Kai once again. So, after stopping at King Kai's planet to ask for directions, Goku teleports Gohan to the realm of the Kaioshin. Once there, the god of creation asks how he can help the two. Gohan asks the Supreme Kai if he possesses the ability to teleport, and he says he and Kibito can both teleport anywhere in the universe. Goku is confused, but Gohan asks if he may train under the Kai to learn and master their form of godly power. Destruction just isn't a fit for Gohan's nature. Supreme Kai and Kibito are ecstatic to have Gohan with them, as he will also serve as a very capable protector to the Supreme Kai as well. Gohan replies that the only stipulation is he needs to be teleported to and from the realm of the Kaioshin. They agree to his terms, and Goku is happy to see his son forge his own path in training. As this what if isn't about Gohan, and I don't want to get sidetracked from our main focus, this will eventually lead to Gohan training with the Z-Sword, the sword being broken, and Elder Kai being released. With Elder Kai out and Gohan being the protector of the Kaioshin, he feels it's a good idea to make him as strong as possible, just in case a certain someone tries to seal him away again. So Ultimate Gohan is born, and he will train with this power for the foreseeable future. Of course, Frieza's revival and Gohan's training aren't the only things we still need to talk about. Sometime after Frieza's defeat, Champa would visit Universe 7, and the tournament between Universe 6 and Universe 7 will be organized. With no Majin Buu and Gohan still having a work conference to take care of, the team for Universe 7 will be Goku, Vegeta, Piccolo, Monaka, and Cell. So Cell, Goku, and Vegeta train together for 3 years in the time chamber, since Dende has upgraded the chamber with the Dragon Balls, if you remember that happening earlier on in the story. Now, much like the Buu arc, this is a part of the story that is always annoying to write for because it's just actually a string of fights in essence, so all I can discuss is a change of fighting order. Of course, we start with Goku, followed by Piccolo, then Cell, Vegeta, and Monaka. This means Batamo versus Goku and Frost versus Goku go the same way they did in the original story. Goku is eliminated by Frost's cheating, and Piccolo has to step up. When he does, Frost eliminates him as well, and thus it is Cell's turn to compete. Before Cell can enter the arena, Frost is found out to be cheating, which allows Goku and Piccolo to re-enter the tournament, but at the end of the roster. Cell says he's tired of waiting and he's already in the arena, so Goku will go after Vegeta, but before Monaka at Beerus's request, and Piccolo resigns from it at Cell's request as well. The referee isn't too pleased by this, but he isn't in a position to protest, so the tournament continues unabated with Cell versus Frost. With Frost's cheating being outed, this will be a fair fight, and that's actually the worst case scenario for Frost. Cell exceeds Frost in every single category, and it's only a matter of time before Cell eliminates Frost and moves on to his next fight, which is against Magetta. Magetta, of course, leads to the flight barrier being put in place, and this is actually the worst case scenario for Cell. Piccolo realizes quickly after the fight starts that this might not go Cell's way after all. While Cell is a very capable trash talker, heat and Piccolo's DNA don't mix. Considering how Cell can regenerate and the fact that he's literally green, it's likely his physical attributes are mostly based off of Piccolo's. This means he'd be more greatly devastated by extreme heat due to his body's sole reliance on water. Famously, the Namekian people were almost entirely wiped out due to an extreme drought. So it goes without saying that this disadvantage leads to Cell's very quick exhaustion and defeat. He's humiliated by this defeat, but he's not going to make a scene about it. This is just another weakness he'll have to take into account going forward. From here, the tournament returns to normal, which sets us up perfectly for the next villain to make their appearance. With everyone back home after the tournament with Universe 6, training continues for Goku, Vegeta, and Cell until the day that future Trunks returns to the present in search of help with his current issue. A person who looks like Goku is causing mass destruction on Earth after Trunks fought so hard to save it. Now, I'd like to write a crazy story regarding what happens and how Cell changes things, but there's one really big issue that a lot of people I feel like overlook. Cell doesn't fit in the time machine. This was a major plot point in Dragon Ball Z. He had to revert to his egg state in order to fit inside it. Perfect Cell and Imperfect Cell aren't too different in size, both towering over most characters in the series, and most guides claiming both of them to be over 7 feet tall. With the addition of Goku, Vegeta, and Trunks, there's just no way Cell fits in the time machine, even if he wants to. But instead of involving himself with time travel, he can use this extra time to train with Whis while Goku and Vegeta aren't allowed to. A chance for him to gain a lead on the two Saiyans. So other than Whis training Cell when the Zamasu stuff in the present isn't happening, the Goku Black arc surprisingly remains the same, and it's only due to something so simple as the size of the time machine, which is honestly pretty funny, all things considered. Now it's time to discuss the Tournament of Power. In this instance, Cell replaces Buu in the Zen exhibition and easily defeats Basil as he's far stronger than Buu. Gohan has no difficulty with Lavender due to his ultimate form and continued training with Supreme Kai, which leads to the same ending, Goku versus Bergamo, then Goku versus Toppo. This is where things get very weird though. Since Cell is still good and never spit up Android 18, there's no androids for the Tournament of Power. However, it's easy enough to replace one android destroyed with Yamcha and the other with Frieza, leading to, honestly, a stronger Universe 7 team overall. If you don't believe me, consider this. We have a Cell that's stronger than Golden Frieza at this point in the story, a Gohan who is trained in his ultimate form for over a year now, Golden Frieza himself, and Goku and Vegeta who are potentially stronger due to Cell training alongside them. This honestly means that the fights are just easier from here on, and they win the way they did originally, with perhaps an even bigger emphasis on trust due to Cell and Yamcha both being antagonists in the past as well. So, the Tournament of Power ends with the revival of all universes, and of course, the revival of Frieza as well. This leads to the Broly movie happening, but this movie was so relegated to Goku, Vegeta, and Broly, regardless of who could sense the conflict apparently, that I'm not even sure that Cell would get involved. The real issue they have with Broly is the fact that Goku never learned the fusion dance in the afterlife because he didn't die. But he did learn about Potara fusion from Gowas in the future timeline, so he teleports over to Cell asking if he can help distract Broly for a bit while they get the earrings, and Cell agrees. Of course, this is a split beating between Cell and Frieza, but luckily it's a quick trip to teleport to the realm of the Kaioshin and grab the Potara quickly, waiting to use the earrings until they arrive back on Earth. With the extremely low time limit, Vegito doesn't have the time to mess around and tries to take Broly out as quickly as possible. But luckily, Chi-Lai is fast enough to wish Broly back to Vampa before the finishing blow can land. Frieza tries to take his leave, but Cell takes care of Frieza before he can, annoyed he had to put up with the tyrant once again. So ends the story for now. Cell turning good changed a lot, and I try not to cover manga arcs anymore since people feel like they are spoilers, so maybe we'll cover more anime stuff when things get animated in the future. Make sure you like and subscribe if you haven't yet, and thank you so very much for watching.